all pro, and you're just an amateur. You can try as hard as you can, but you can't handle us. I'm waiting at the pit and signing autographs. I'm always in first place, you always in the back. For me, I'm all pro, and you're just an amateur. You can try as hard as you can, but you can't handle us. I'm waiting at the pit and signing autographs. I'm always in first place, you always in the back. For me, I'm all pro.
All Pro Wrestling faithful, welcome to another exciting edition of All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars. I am Shane Stoli, joined this week by Matthew Theall.
The greatest mind of professional wrestling. And look at this opening contest. Brian Tannen taking on Jeckles. A warm-up match for Jeckles, if you will, in his huge Almighty Chic match that he's going to have.
Brian Tannen looking to make a name for himself here in All Pro Wrestling, and Jeckles, a questionable place to start, but
if he can beat Jeckles in this match, it'll be one for the record books, that's for sure. But the Lucky 7 tournament, round 1 begins. The winner of this becomes the #1 contender for the Universal title.
Will Rood and Matt Carlos, first ones up. Should be an interesting match, contrasting styles, but these guys definitely can both go in the ring.
And continuing on with the Lucky 7 tournament, round 1 charges on as Kirsch takes on JR Kratos.
It's the wily veteran taking on the unstoppable beast as JR Kratos looks to continue steamrolling over everybody, much like he did a few of the All-Stars just a few weeks ago.
Unstoppable. But the round 1 continues, the third and final match of the first round of the Lucky 7 tournament. Dylan Drake takes on the winner of last week's Battle Royal, El Chupacabra.
Big win for El Chupacabra, making his return here to All Pro Wrestling, but Dylan Drake looking to add that third Universal Heavyweight title reign to his resume. It's going to be
huge news coming, Shane. In the news break this week on Gym Wars, we are going to find out who the 7th competitor of the Lucky 7 tournament is. And here we go, Brian Tannen starting things off for Gym Wars this week.
Good luck, son. It's going to be an uphill fight.
Introducing first, from Hill Valley, California, weighing 247 pounds, Brian Tannen.
There he is, Brian Tannen. He's a young buck. He's still relatively new to professional wrestling, only seen a couple of times here in APW so far.
He's got a little bit of trouble ahead of him here today.
Probably one of the biggest challenges that he's had to date in Jeckles.
Jeckles is coming to the ring, and he's just going to pummel this poor guy.
Well, you have to believe that in this match, Jeckles isn't going to see Brian Tannen. He's going to see his opponent in a couple of weeks, the Almighty Chic.
There was an interesting interaction last week between Jeckles and the Almighty Chic.
And his opponent from Carneyville, weighing 238 pounds, the Freak, Jekyll.
Right, we saw the Almighty Chic last week defeat Mikey J in impressive fashion. And Jeckles came out and he stared at him, stared at the lights, stared at Brian Zane, stared at the floor. It was weird.
Everything Jeckles does is weird, Matthew. I honestly could not even begin to fathom where this man's head is at any given moment in the ring here in All Pro Wrestling.
He's looking to play. That's how he describes his matches. It's play for him.
It's fun. He likes to get hit.
It's like a kid in the sandbox, making sandcastles with his forearms.
That sounds incredibly difficult.
It is a little difficult, but Jeckles pulls it off each and every time we see him in the ring.
He likes to get in there, and he does. He loves to just club people and into submission.
Now, I gotta wonder, what's the idea, the strategy of Toby Reynolds trying to pull Jeckles to the middle of the ring to go over the rules? I mean, how do you explain to Jeckles the rules of a wrestling match?
Jeckles is fully aware of the rules of a wrestling match. He just honestly doesn't care.
I think that he just doesn't like the number 5, and when somebody gets close to it when they're counting, he just backs off.
Really?
It's entirely possible.
Well, you go ahead and keep on believing that.
Listen, I spent a number of weeks with the Carnival of Shadows. I know how they tick.
But was Jeckles with the Carnival of Shadows?
I'm not exactly at that point in time. When he did come to the Carnival of Shadows, they did. Well, some bad stuff happened that I don't want to revisit. Let's talk about the match here, Shane. Why are you digressing?
I believe what happened to you made the movie Deliverance look pleasant.
That's harsh.
Well, I mean, you were stretchered out of here.
Yeah, I was stretching.
The fans were less than receptive to.
And I was missing from All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars television for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I know that everybody missed me.
I didn't miss you.
Now the question is, though, after this match, will Brian Tannen need to be stretchered out to miss weeks and weeks and weeks of All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars television?
It's entirely possible. Jekyll is a vicious, brutal man who does not have his heart in winning the match, but he certainly has his heart in beating the hell out of anybody that steps across the ring from him.
Brian Tannen, look at this. It's like a football jock. This cocky persona getting in the face of Jeckles, which is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, you don't want to step up to a guy like Jeckles.
I don't think Brian Tannen realizes who he's in the ring with.
Jeckles is excited by the fact that Brian Tannen wants to step up and play his game.
I think Jeckles might be a little offended that Brian Tannen's wearing the same color as him, too.
I don't think that Jeckles is the kind of guy that works that way. I mean, I could be wrong, but...
Oh, just a hammering forearm right to the jaw. And Brian Tannen, he's standing up to him. I'm a little surprised with how well he's faring in this match so far.
Jeckles takes control, though, with a big knee followed up by an elbow to the back of the neck.
Oh, another huge forearm.
Nasty forearm. Followed up by another big knee. Jeckles just absolutely brutal. Brutal and methodical. I've never seen somebody take so much time to deliver so much punishment.
And then you saw Jeckles chasing after Brian Tannen after whipping him into that corner and not allowing Brian Tannen any time to dodge or duck or weave or get out of the way of the charging onslaught of Jeckles.
Locks on that reverse chin lock here now. Jeckles putting all his weight across the back of the neck and head.
What on
earth is that?
I can't necessarily call. I don't think it's a submission. It's not a pin. It's a couple of elbows to the head by Brian Tannen. That's what those are.
Full moon over Jeckles going on there, and now Brian Tannen getting irritated by Jeckles' odd behavior, taking control and hammering on the back of the head of Jeckles the Jester.
And another, if I have to give one thing to Brian Tannen in this match so far, it's the amount of intensity and the just pounding force behind his strikes on Jeckles.
I'm very impressed by Brian Tannen being able to withstand the unstoppable, brutal force that is a Jeckles assault.
Brian Tannen, though, pausing that it's not a good idea. He does need to break that or he might get disqualified.
That's just a rookie mistake here, giving Jeckles an opportunity to catch his breath. Of course, he has to break because Jeckles is in the corner, and that's what a true competitor does, Matthew Theall, something you're not very familiar with.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, wow, the strength of Brian Tannen, that's incredible.
Picking Jeckles up for that big side slam. Only a 2 count, though.
A 2 count. Well, you can see Brian Tannen, he's getting a little frustrated with the officiating of Toby Reynolds. That's not where his mind needs to be. He needs to be on the game at all times.
I think that when the frustration sets in this early, that just shows, rookie inexperience. Because, I mean, a guy like Jeckles is not going to get pinned by a single maneuver like a side slam.
Another just forearm after forearm after forearm by Jeckles.
Jeckles just absolutely punishing Brian Tannen here. No rest for the wicked as he comes. Blocked by Brian Tannen. Fires back with a big forearm of his own.
Another clubbing shot to the upper back of Jeckles.
Brian Tannen looking to put Jeckles away here by any means necessary. Hooking in deep for a big suplex here.
Ooh, vertical suplex planting Jeckles. That's.
You got to follow up.
Yeah.
Stay on top of him, Brian. That's a mistake, right? 1, 2. Yeah, no. I'm not even sure what he was doing there.
He was letting Jeckles catch his breath. That's what he did there.
Big rookie mistake by the young Brian Tannen here. But Jeckles is in really bad shape. This is a surprise. Oh! Jawbreaker by Jeckles the Jester evens the playing field once again.
Just sending Brian Tannen down to that mat. He crumbles underneath him.
Vicious elbow drop to the heart of Brian Tannen. Jeckles off the ropes. Oh, another big elbow drop.
And Brian Tannen, now he's holding the sternum, he's holding the jaw. Jeckles has done a lot of damage to Brian Tannen in the last 30 seconds.
But Jeckles still hasn't completely recovered either. Brian Tannen's got a good opportunity to come back here. We got one goof in the audience chanting for Almighty Sheik while everybody else not as accepting to the Almighty Sheik coming here to All Pro Wrestling.
Jeckles and Brian Tannen knocking each other loopy. Oh, that was a pretty low kick by Jeckles.
Tannen gets thrown out to the ringside area here in the Gym Wars, known as the War Zone. And Jeckles.
Oh, there's the Almighty Sheik.
Vicious forearm to the back of Jeckles the Jester by the Almighty Sheik. Follows it up with a chop.
The Jekyll's fighting back. They're finally got their hands on each other. This is 3 weeks in the making.
Jeckles, big roaring elbow there in the Almighty Sheik, and he decides to take a powder, recollect his thoughts out on the outside, and Brian Zane is there to hold him from getting back in the ring. Jekyll signaling for the Almighty Sheik to get back in there.
Your winner, via disqualification in 5 minutes, 20 seconds, Jekyll!
Jekyll's winning the match by disqualification, and he's just laughing at Almighty Sheik for throwing those chairs in the ring.
Jekyll's holding his chest, but he wants to go. He is just... what is he doing?
He's rolling in the chairs.
What an odd bird. I'm telling you, Matthew Theall. It's always entertaining when Jeckles is out here, but I never know what to expect.
This match with Brian Tannen was a warm-up for the match that Jeckles will have in a number of weeks here on All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars against the Almighty Sheik, led by Brian Zane.
Brian Zane, of course, wearing the snappiest sweatpants in all of professional wrestling.
Jeckles doesn't want to wait. Jeckles wants to do it now, and he's pleased. He's happy. He's giggling.
Jeckles is always ready to go. He's pleased by pain inflicted upon himself, and he's even more happy when he's inflicting pain on somebody else.
I don't know what to make of this situation.
I can't even begin to describe what's going on. I mean, I have no idea what either of these men is thinking.
They're thinking that they want to get in between those red, white, and blues and just knock the snot out of each other. That's for sure.
It's definitely going to be an interesting showing coming up here. I don't even know when this match is happening, but it's got to be happening soon. Fans, we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? The APW Bootcamp Training School is accepting applicants for pro wrestlers, managers, valets, and referees. All Pro Wrestling home APW Bootcamp is where future legends are born. For the last 19 years, APW has been the leader in talent development. Top graduates include The Great Khali, Crash Holly, Spike Dudley. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396.
Welcome back, Gym Wars fans. Will Rood is set to make his way to the ring for this first round match in the Lucky 7 tournament to crown a new #1 contender. Matthew, who are you picking?
For the whole tournament?
Yeah.
I don't know.
From East Palo Alto, California, weighing 216 pounds, Will Rood!
The greatest mind in professional wrestling does not have a pick.
Fine. There's no Theall star in this tournament, so it's going to be it's not going to be Will
more
Rood.
accurate. It's you don't care.
It's not going to be Will Rood. I know that for sure, and I do care. I want to know. I care who's the #1 contender of All Pro Wrestling for the Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Well, but if it's not a Theall star, why do you care?
It matters. It matters.
Why does it matter?
Because it's the face of All Pro Wrestling, the Universal Heavyweight Champion.
And
I care.
That it's because there's no chance. There's no chance that it could be at the All-Star.
I care. Just take my word for it.
Here comes out of control Matt Carlos getting set to take on Big Will Rood here. Should be an interesting matchup. Clash of styles a little bit there.
And his opponent from Union City, California, weighing 182 pounds, out of control, Matt Carlos!
Absolutely a clash of styles in this match. Will Rood obviously using the last year to build his body, build that strength, go for that power, the power game in the ring, while Matt Carlos has tried to stay lean and trim and continue on his speed.
Absolutely. He's a fantastic competitor. And not only that, but he definitely has an out-of-control style that is very unpredictable and very hard to plan for anytime you step in the ring with him.
All right, I'm going to say in this match, I'm going to say that Matthew Carlos will go ahead and take home the victory in this one because he's the only person in that ring that hasn't irritated me beyond belief.
I can't believe I get to do it.
Huh?
It's Matt.
Matthew.
Will Rood and Matt Carlos getting set to square off here as referee Choby checks them both. I don't think either of these guys is going to have a weapon, but it's good that Toby stays consistent.
I mean, Will Rood might have a weapon. You never know what's in that hair.
What do you mean, Will
You
Rood?
could have like razor blades in the hair or a whip. You don't know.
He's not Abdullah the Butcher, sir. He's Will Rood. I mean, he's not. When does Will Rood ever come to the ring with a weapon?
A chain wrapped around his fist, pounding the face of Dylan Drake. Have you forgotten this?
Wasn't he forced to do that?
I don't remember that being the case.
Okay. You got that selective memory. So you've got selective memory and your heart of listening.
Okay, so we've got a match happening right now, Shane Stoli. How about we talk about it? Let's analyze the competitors here. Matt Carlos, Will Rood, round 1, first match of the Lucky 7 tournament. This is going to set the tone for the entire tournament over the next couple of weeks.
So, as the greatest mind in professional wrestling, what is it about Matt Carlos that you think gives him the edge?
It's the speed and the experience as well. Matt Carlos has a number of years of experience on Will Rood, but you can see Will Rood now using that power game to beat Matt Carlos in that corner.
It definitely does quite often turn the tide in his favor when he steps in the ring, especially against a guy like Matt Carlos.
Did you see the air that Will Rood sent Matt Carlos into with the hip toss?
That was very impressive. But you think about it, if you can slow Matt Carlos down, you take away half of his game right there.
Take away his knee, his ankle, his anything. Break him down. Use your power. Stop him in any way you can.
Oh, and that's what Will Rood is trying to do here, but Matt Carlos still too quick. Ducks the clothesline, and here he comes. Will Rood able to catch him, though, using that strength once again. Oh! Reversal, though. Matt Carlos only gets a 2 count, though.
Drop kick from nowhere, and Matt Carlos still firing up, but Will Rood's back to his feet.
And a standing drop kick return from Will Rood. Impressive.
That's what you get for turning your back on your opponent. It doesn't matter if you're friends, if you shook hands before the match in the back. Don't turn your back on the opponent.
Matt Carlos taking a little bit too much time to smile pretty for the camera and gets caught off guard, gives control of the match. He gives control of the match back to Will Rood.
That's absolutely what happened there. Dropping the fist on the forehead of Matt Carlos with that loaded glove.
Loaded glove? He was just checked.
It's loaded.
Loaded with what? His hand?
With weapon.
Well, I suppose you could consider Will Rood's hand a weapon.
There's a foreign object in that glove. I promise you that.
Will Rood is from California. There's nothing foreign in that glove, Matthew.
Oh my God. Matt Carlos scaling the ropes, going to the air, the place he feels comfortable, with a diving fist of his own right under the face of Will Rood.
Intense back and forth here between these two men. What?
Only a 2 count. You gotta wonder if that stutter by Toby there stole the victory from Matt Carlos.
It's entirely possible. I don't usually see things like that from Toby. That was kind of a surprise there.
Both men exchanging open fists to the face.
Reversal by Matt Carlos as Will Rood tries to fire him off. Oh, another vicious forearms by Matt Carlos.
Matt Carlos just trying to knock Will Rood off balance and hits him with that DDT.
Will Rood out in the middle of the ring. Matt Carlos needs to move a little bit quicker, though.
Well, Matt Carlos, I'm not sure if he knows what he wants to do with Will Rood at this point.
It almost appears as if Matt Carlos did not expect to have control this early on.
Matt Carlos he's firing back each and every opportunity he has.
Oh, now massive power slam by Will Rood, 2
count, Matt Carlos kicking out. I almost lost a bet.
Who did you bet? You're betting on the All Pro Wrestling matches?
I'm Matt Carlos.
You're not supposed to bet on the matches. You're an employee. I'm going to get the athletic commission to look into you like they did Pete Rose, sir.
No, Matt Carlos, he's tying up Will Rood, trying to go for that backslide pin. He's struggling. He's not going to be able to outmuscle Will Rood to get him down.
Yeah, Will Rood just far too strong. It still has too much left in the tank.
There's that out-of-control nature of Matt Carlos, though, driving the face of Will Rood into his knee. Coming down with the mat liner.
That didn't look like the mat liner, though.
He was going for the mat liner. I think Will Rood tried to fight his way out of it, but the momentum of Matt Carlos bringing both men down.
It was definitely very impressive either way. I mean, of course, with out-of-control Matt Carlos, you never know. That could have just been a new version of the mat liner that we've never seen before.
I'll ask him after the match.
Both men back up on their feet. Double leg takedown by Matt Carlos. Great amateur move there.
Trying to go for that Boston Crab, the submission hold that Matt Carlos has been trying to use off and on. But again, the strength of Will Rood.
Just far too strong for him.
Matt Carlos taking Will Rood down again.
Trying to do anything he can to lock in that Boston Crab, but Will Rood is so...
He's got it, but he doesn't quite have it.
He's close. Will Rood able to fight and get that left hand back up under his chest and keep Matt Carlos from locking it in.
Well, Matt Carlos finds his way out of that sky-high attempt.
Spinning heel kick by Matt Carlos. Takes Will Rood for a ride here.
Going up for the Union landing. Oh, Will Rood doesn't follow through, though. He throws Matt Carlos off.
Now Will Rood, sky high. I'm sorry, low down. That's the low down. I've always gotten them mixed up.
But Will Rood now, he's going up to the top rope. Yeah, I think he might be feeling froggy.
You think he's going to hit that frog splash?
Oh, and he does with authority.
Will Rood picks up a big victory here in the first round of the Lucky 7 tournament.
Your winner via pinfall in 6 minutes, 9 seconds, Will Rood.
Well, I just lost $1.
Where are you placing bets on these matches?
Huh?
Will Rood picks up a big victory, and Matt Theall just got one more check on my reasons not to like him list. Will Rood is moving on to the second round. Unfortunately, Matthew Theall does not have any Theall stars in the Lucky 7 tournament. I guess he's not able to...
How nice. They're hugging and holding each other's hands. I'm going to be sick. Somebody get me a bucket.
Will Rood moving on to the next round in the tournament to determine a new #1 contender to Timothy Thatcher's Universal Heavyweight Championship. Fans, we've got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more great action.
Are you or your son or daughter celebrating a birthday soon? There's no better way to celebrate a birthday than to throw the birthday person a pro wrestling themed birthday party. We have several packages available, including renting our facility with a customized pro wrestling show. Bring your birthday cake and invite your guests to attend a private pro wrestling birthday party. If you are interested in having all pro wrestling be a part of your birthday celebration, give us a call at 510-785-8396 or visit the website at www.allprowrestling.com.
APW faithful, welcome to this week's edition of your News Break. A little while ago, Jeckles was in the ring one-on-one with Brian Tannen when the almighty Sheik and Brian Zane interfered, causing a disqualification. What exactly was going on in their heads? Why did they interject themselves in the match with Jeckles and Brian Tannen? Well, they're standing by. Let's hear from Brian Zane and the almighty Sheik.
Calm down, my friend. Calm down, because you still have a week to go. Jekyll's the Jester, I warned you, I told you that in 2 weeks, you were going to face the almighty Sheik and you were going to regret it. Well, 1 week passed and you got a small taste, an appetizer of what's to come next week, my friend. You haven't even felt the worst of it. The almighty Sheik, what he did to you today, it was a walk in the park compared to what you're going to feel next week. Oh yeah, all that makeup you have on your face, you're going to need a lot more to cover all the bruises and bloody spots all over your body by the time the almighty Sheik is done with you. After he's done with you, then the rest of the APW is going to be officially on notice. Yeah!
Hanazena Biad Jihad!
It's official, it's just been signed. Jeckles takes on the Almighty Sheik for the Unified World Heavyweight Championship next week on All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars. Also, we've had one match down in the Lucky 7 tournament. We've got a couple more to go. But the APW commissioner has just handed us exactly who will be the Lucky 7th participant in the tournament. Let's find out now.
Well, my name is Brian Kendrick. When I was first starting out in wrestling, I used to stomp around here in APW. That's been about 10 years ago. Now I'm going to be competing in the Lucky 7. And I'm going to get to take on the winner, Dylan Drake and El Chupacabra. Two very talented wrestlers. Hopefully someday can accomplish great things I have. It doesn't matter which one of you guys wins, you're going to get to wrestle me. Which will be a treat, but it'll also be a lesson for you. I'm excited to be in this tournament, and I'm not planning on losing. Thank you for your time.
Brian Kendrick makes his return to All Pro Wrestling. The Lucky 7 tournament is absolutely heating up. We've got another couple of big matches in the tournament. AJ Kirsch takes on JR Kratos, as well as the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake, taking on the winner of last week's Battle Royal, El Chupacabra. We have both of those men standing by. Let's go ahead and hear from El Chupacabra and the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake.
Oh, surprise, surprise! Look who won in the Battle Royal and is advancing on to the Lucky 7 tournament, which I can take on Dylan Drake, the Golden Boy, who thinks he has what it takes to go through this whole tournament, to go to the very end, to the main event, to take on Timothy Thatcher for the Universal Heavyweight title. I'm going to tell you one thing only, Dylan Drake. The Beta Breaker, not going to happen tonight. The one thing that will be breaking is my teeth through your flesh, ripping it apart and showing everyone the weak become meat for the strong to eat.
The Lucky 7 tournament has finally arrived, and I finally get my shot to become the #1 contender for the APW Universal Heavyweight title. After losing to Adam Thornstowe, been in a bit of a bad mood. And you know what? I want to face nothing but the best in this tournament, and that's exactly what APW has for me. And first up, Chupacabra. I know how big and bad you are. I saw you win that Battle Royal. I saw you toss everyone else out over the top rope. And I can find no better way to start this tournament and start my rise back up to where I belong, on the top of APW as the Universal Heavyweight Champion.
Shane, what a lineup we have next week on Gym Wars. The Lucky 7 tournament continues with the semifinals as Will Rood, who we just saw win his round 1 match against Matt Carlos, will take on JR Kratos or AJ Kirsch.
This is going to be a fantastic match. Either way it crumbles, but we've got huge news just announced. The Brian Kendrick is the 7th man entering into the tournament.
Just wow. Just wow.
Absolutely amazing. Taking on the winner of Dylan Drake and El Chupacabra from TV here this week. And our main event, the Mighty Sheik and Jeckles the Jester are finally going to face off.
The Almighty Sheik and Jekyll will finally beat the tar out of each other in the middle of the ring here at APW.
It's going to be huge. Fans, we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? The APW Bootcamp Training School is accepting applicants for pro wrestlers, managers, valets, and referees. All Pro Wrestling home APW Bootcamp is where future legends are born. For the last 19 years, APW has been the leader in talent development. Top graduates include the Great Khali, Crash Holly, Spike Dudley. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396.
We are back with more exciting action as JR Kratos gets set to make his way to the ring to compete in the Lucky 7 tournament.
Lucky 7 round 1 continues. JR Kratos and AJ Kirsch, the battle of the initials. JR, AJ, come on.
I get it. It just is not necessary to point it out.
Look at this man. Look at JR Kratos. You just gotta say his name, JR Kratos. You gotta say it like that.
He is a beast, without a doubt. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, AJ...
From Sacramento, California, weighing 267 pounds, JR Kratos!
AJ Kirsch definitely holds the experience card over JR Kratos, but nobody can match up with this man when it comes to size.
I don't like him.
Of course you
There's
don't.
something about his, I don't know, something with his eyes.
Or it could be something to do about the fact that he keeps beating up the All-Stars.
He ran into me in the hallway not too long ago, knocking me off my feet. I would appreciate that.
And he keeps beating the All-Stars.
And his opponent from San Francisco, California, weighing 224 pounds, AJ Kirsch.
AJ Kirsch, a multiple-time tag team champion here in All Pro Wrestling, looking to finally stake his claim on singles gold here.
Shane, did you know that Nickelback follows AJ Kirsch on Twitter? You can find AJ Kirsch at AJ Kirsch on Twitter.
I don't think we should hold that against him.
It's one of his most redeeming qualities.
I would tend to have a tendency to disagree.
It's at AJ Kirsch on Twitter, at Theall on Twitter, at Perry Von Vicious, at Damian Grundy, at Levi Shapiro.
At All Pro Wrestling, baby.
AllProWrestling.com, Facebook.com/APW Bootcamp.
And YouTube.com/AllProWrestling, where you can catch this very show. As a matter of fact, if you are watching this right now, there is a 50-50 chance you are on YouTube.com/AllProWrestling.
You could also be on Facebook.com/APW Bootcamp watching this right now. Or MatthewTheall.com.
But none of your guys are wrestling
I'm
today.
commentating.
Oh, so you're going to start posting those on your website?
They are posted on there. Anyway, the bell rang. This is the round one match, the second round one match of the Lucky 7 tournament. We will walk away with a new #1 contender for the Universal Heavyweight Championship when it's all said and done.
I thought you didn't put television shows up on your website unless you appeared on camera.
Let's not talk about my website, MatthewTheall.com, right now. Let's talk about this match. AJ Kirsch, JR Kratos, round one of the Lucky 7 tournament.
Once again, I have to defer to the greatest mind in professional wrestling. A pick for this match, good sir.
I'm going to have to go JR Kratos because I just don't like him. But he's huge. Look at him.
He's definitely a beast. I question your method for picking a winner, but I'm gonna have to agree with you.
You can see that AJ Kirsch is already holding that abdomen. The match is 30 seconds, 45 seconds deep, and AJ Kirsch already has an injury. And a well-placed dropkick though to those legs. That'll knock somebody off their feet. And it did 3 times.
Trying to take the base away from JR Kratos. A very smart move by AJ Kirsch. Sees that he can't match the man's strength for strength, so goes after the wheels, trying to ground the big man. Of course, this puts him in perfect position for that big flying elbow.
Absolutely. With JR Kratos on his back, can't stand up. That elbow's coming, that's for sure.
Gets him into the corner, wraps the leg.
Illegally wrapping the leg around the ropes, though.
Well, as a member of Ego, Pickett, and their manager, Johnny LaRocca, AJ Kirsch is definitely no stranger to Matthew Theall-like tactics.
I don't know what that means, but JR Kratos practically decapitated AJ Kirsch with that rocking clothesline.
He's just big forearm.
AJ Kirsch looks like he has a concussion. Looks like he doesn't know where he is.
Oh, Kratos catches him in midair.
Kratos sending AJ Kirsch up to that shoulder. Just driving him down to the canvas.
That goes for the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count, though.
Somehow AJ Kirsch finds the strength to kick out that drive and the desire to be the Universal Heavyweight Champion, or at least the #1 contender by winning this tournament, feeling strong in the stomach of AJ Kirsch.
Locks in a big bear hug, does JR Kratos. Looking very impressive in this match here today, Matthew.
Huge. Just that bear hug. I can't think of anybody that can apply more pressure than JR Kratos with a bear hug.
Are you saying that JR Kratos is stronger than Damian Grundy?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
That's what you just said.
I didn't say that.
You did say that.
I didn't say. Let's not argue. Let's talk about the match.
Else can apply pressure in a bear hug like JR Kratos.
Well, JR Kratos is the master of the bear hug. That's fine, but Damian Grundy's a lot stronger. And the momentum of AJ Kirsch knocking JR Kratos off of his feet.
Laying it into JR Kratos hard and fast.
Now AJ Kirsch bringing JR Kratos back to his feet and trying to go for a vertical suplex. I don't know.
JR Kratos able to block it. AJ Kirsch has not put in enough work trying to wear down the big man, but able to escape out the back door.
Oh, going for that stunner, the ace crusher, if you will. Oh,
Back
huge!
spear!
Oh, wow!
Grab that pin. 1, 2, 3. JR Kratos advances to the next round.
What a... I'm shocked. I picked him, but I'm shocked.
Your winner via pinfall in 3 minutes, 34 seconds, JR Kratos!
Matthew Theall 1-1 here in the Lucky 7 tournament. JR Kratos looking very, very impressive.
Wait, just 1 second. Can you imagine if I got Damian Grundy and JR Kratos to tag team together?
That didn't work out so well last night.
No. They won their match.
They won their match, but they weren't getting along all that well. Something tells me that JR Kratos is about as big a fan of Matthew Theall as Matthew Theall is of...
We gotta go to commercial break. We'll be back.
5, 4.
If you would like to get involved behind the scenes with pro wrestling, we are looking for you. All Pro Wrestling is always on the lookout for talented interns in the areas of television production, including commentators, graphic design, and website design. We also have highly paid commission sales and marketing openings. For more information, email your qualifications and resume and tell us which area behind the scenes you'd love to be involved in. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396 or visit us at www.allprowrestling.net.
It's main event time, Gym Wars fans. I hope everybody is excited as I am.
That's the TV main event, the last match in the first round of the Lucky 7 tournament. And you hear that music, the winner of last week's Battle Royal. You earned a spot in this tournament today, El Chupacabra.
I gotta pick El Chupacabra here.
Really?
I like both men, but I gotta go with Chupa.
Introducing first, from the Mexican Badlands, weighing 161 pounds, the Mexican werewolf, El Chupacabra!
El Chupacabra instead of Dylan Drake, the seasoned veteran.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Chupacabra, unorthodox. You never know what to expect. Dylan Drake has a very methodical, very targeted approach in every single match. Of course, Chupacabra's unpredictability could be a detriment to him, but Dylan Drake is always on target, backbreakers, targeting the back, but I really think that the unpredictability is going to play a heavy factor in Chupacabra's favor.
And his opponent from San Francisco, California, weighing 223 pounds, the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake!
I'm sure who Dylan Drake is blowing kisses to in the audience.
Well, who do you pick, Matthew Theall? Come on, what's your opinion on the match?
I don't like Dylan Drake. And I don't like El Chupacabra.
Oh, that's right, the chicken suit.
Listen. Dylan Drake, he's got too much hair for his own good, all right?
And he made you wear a chicken suit.
I don't remember. What? I don't recall this.
You don't recall wearing a chicken suit?
No. Why does everything break down into something that happened to me? I got beat up by the Carnival of Shadows. I had to wear a chicken suit. There's two talented wrestlers in the ring right now jockeying for position to become the #1 contender for the Universal Heavyweight Championship.
You still haven't answered my question.
Just a double count out.
Double
Neither
count
one
out.
of them wins. Brian Kendrick, who's going to be facing whoever wins this match next week on Gym Wars, is going to get a bye to the finals. That's my prediction. You like that?
Okay, so Brian Kendrick and who else in the finals?
It's some guy.
JR Kratos or Will Rood?
We're going to find out who wins that match next week as well when JR Kratos and Will Rood face each other in the semifinals of this Lucky 7 tournament.
Well, since this match is apparently going to a double count out,
Can we not talk about the field? Let's talk about it now. Let's see if my prediction holds true.
Nice side headlock by Dylan Drake.
Do you have ADD?
What are you talking about?
All you talk about is stuff that's not happening on the TV screen.
You were the one that said you didn't like Dylan Drake. As a reporter, it is my job to find out what is going on inside the mind of
Nice head scissors by Chupacabra. Great way to get rid of that headlock by Dylan Drake. Showing some athleticism in his escape from those head scissors. That was impressive.
Dylan Drake definitely has the height advantage here. But like I said, Chupacabra is just so unpredictable. You just never know what to expect from this guy. What has prevented you from recruiting him to become a member of the All-Stars?
Dylan Drake or Chupacabra? I wasn't listening.
Either one. Well, I mean, I know why you haven't recruited Dylan Drake, Chicken Soup.
Listen, I haven't recruited Dylan Drake because it looks like birds can make a home in his hair. And El Chupacabra, have you ever tried to talk to him? He just growls at you.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always so busy during a show, I don't usually have time to chat a lot with a lot of the guys. So, but I mean,
Drop to a hold by El Chupacabra, knocking Dylan Drake off of his feet. Just need you play-by-play for a little while here.
So Matthew Theall, are you looking at anybody new, Chicken Soup, to become a Theall star?
All the time. All the time. The gears are always spinning in my brain. El Chupacabra measuring up. Dylan Drake coming in for that lockup. But Dylan Drake with the size and strength advantage in this. Absolutely, for sure, 100%.
Chupacabra's definitely got speed in his corner, though, Chicken Soup.
Yes. And look at this. Look at the unorthodox strategy by Dylan Drake. You said that he goes to the well with those backbreakers all the time. This time he's going for the shoulder.
It's nice to see, but I mean, I definitely caught Chupacabra off guard here, Chicken Soup.
That's absolutely true. Chupacabra trying to find his way out of this armbar predicament.
Dylan Drake got the that Chupacabra fights out. I was going to say Dylan Drake.
He's biting the fingers. Take out the fingers and you don't get that beta breaker. That's true.
It's hard to lock it on when you're missing a finger, that's for sure. You can't get a good grip.
The Mexican werewolf biting Dylan Drake. Unpredictable nature, that's true.
Nice reverse arm drag by Chupacabra. Dylan Drake caught off guard.
You see that boot connect to the face of Dylan Drake? Wow.
Chupacabra firing in, now fires Dylan Drake off. Reversal by Drake. Oh. Whoa, what's going on? Thought he was going for a head scissors, but it's a Russian leg sweep. Very nice.
Floating over, hitting that senton.
Dylan Drake is in a bad way here.
Knocking the breath out of Dylan Drake, going for that cover hook of the leg. Almost got it.
Only two. I thought Chupacabra had him right there. He just wasn't able to get a good grip on that leg. Things could have been a different story.
Forearm to the face of Dylan Drake, a well-placed kick to the back of the leg, sending Dylan Drake down to his knees, cutting him down to size. Oh, there we go,
There's
the backbreaker.
1, 2. Dylan Drake going for what he knows best.
Dylan Drake knows how to turn everything into a backbreaker. Mark my words, everything.
And it's definitely an effective strategy. I have no doubt that Dylan Drake has built his career on winning matches with those backbreakers, setting up the beta breaker. I never disputed that. I'm just saying that someone is bound to take advantage of that strategy down the line.
And look at this. I don't think I've seen this out of Dylan Drake.
This is a little bit of an odd version of a half crab there.
You gotta wonder, with the skeletal structure of El Chupacabra exposed, do you think that kind of guides Dylan Drake with aim, where that spine is?
It's entirely possible. I mean, you're definitely giving your opponent a roadmap to success by putting a blueprint of your bones on the
Dylan
back,
Drake just pulling out all the stops here. I don't know. This is some unique offense by him. I'm quite impressed.
Well, it's been quite a while since Dylan Drake has held that Universal Heavyweight title, and he definitely wants to go for that record third time being a Universal Heavyweight champion.
That's absolutely true. But of course, Dylan Drake's last Universal Heavyweight Championship reign did come to a sudden and unpredictable end.
I could have predicted it. You were just on where, and things didn't wind up going too well for the All-Stars after.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Chicken Soup?
Dylan Drake going after the leg, the knee of El Chupacabra. He needs to be mindful of his shoulders. If both of them do hit that mat, it turns into a pinfall.
Chupacabra trying to fight out of this hold by Dylan Drake. Just taking a swing at the head just a moment ago, but now...
pull the hair.
He's biting him on the leg.
Again. That's
just that unorthodox style of El Chupacabra, very reminiscent of George the Animal Steel breaking a hold there.
Unique way to get out of it.
Questionable but effective, that's for sure.
Dylan
I
Drake.
believe that's the first 20 pages or so of the Matthew Theall
know.
strategy book. Questionable but effective.
Sure. Jumping enziguri by El Chupacabra knocks Dylan Drake out cold. If he could just, he needs to not fix his boot.
Chupacabra looks like he's hurt his ankle there a little bit.
Going after, I don't know, both legs seem to be failing him at this point. Wasn't able to capitalize on that enziguri.
Well, those interesting submission holds by Dylan Drake definitely took their toll on El Chupacabra, but both men back to their feet now.
Comes charging in, and gotta wonder, are these knee shots, though? I wouldn't strike with my legs at this point.
Just an all-out assault by El Chupacabra, doing anything to get the pin, too. Only a 2 count, so close.
Dylan Drake kicking out with just mere moments to spare.
It's just that amazing leg strength of Dylan Drake. I mean, that's the reason his backbreakers are so successful, and it's the amazing leg strength he's got.
Well, you got to think about the training strategy of Dylan Drake. You need to be able to get down deep and low with that beta breaker sharpshooter. So you have to have very strong legs.
Oh,
Alabama
look,
slam. He's going for that.
Right into the beta breaker.
Like I said, there we go. Dylan Drake with great balance, sinking it in deep, and Chupacabra has nowhere to go.
And he taps. Chupacabra taps. Dylan Drake moves on to face Brian Kendrick next week in the Lucky 7 tournament. Matthew Theall.
Your winner by submission in 7 minutes, 3 seconds. The golden boy, Dylan Drake.
A big win for Dylan Drake here today on Gym Wars. Chupacabra comes up a little bit short, Matthew.
Chupacabra comes up short on a lot of things.
What are you talking about? He's a fantastic competitor, and we're lucky to have him.
He's like 5'2". Hey, I'm going to take Dylan Drake out for a celebratory haircut.
How about a celebratory chicken soup?
What? Haircuts for Dylan. Just come to me and say, hey, congratulations. You're going to move on next week to face the Brian Kendrick as the Lucky 7 tournament continues.
Not only that, Rood is going to take on JR Kratos.
And the main event, Jeckles and the Almighty Sheik.
Thanks for joining us, fans. We'll see you next week here on All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars.